Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you in this daily UPSC MCQ series. 15th of August, it is an important questions based on current affairs. We are discussing editorials in the morning, and in the evening we are practicing questions there. And from all the sources, including the Hindu, Indian Express, Live Mint, and all these sources, we are covering questions from PIB also. So let's start the lesson. And 60% off is going on all these courses. It will be there till tomorrow. And you can call on these numbers. You can visit the website also. Pocket News app is trending on Google Play. You can download that. The description is given below the video, and you can call on these numbers. PDF you will get here on this group, and you will also find the Telegram channel's link there. So on both the places you will get the PDF. You can follow me on Instagram too, and this is the link for that channel. Question 1. In pursuance of the announcement made in the Union Budget 1920, as it was made there, and it was one of the most important decisions there, and it was regarding the financial system. So the government issued a scheme called partial credit guarantee scheme. But this partial credit guarantee scheme was not regarding tribal products. It was also not regarding farmers credit support, and it was also not regarding the businessmen and the entrepreneurs. It was actually for the NBFC issue. NBFCs are facing a liquidity crunch, a huge crunch, and that's why they are not able to finance many of the areas. And now it was a kind of a solution that government is going to give guarantee if PSBs are going to purchase the pooled assets of NBFCs till 1 lakh crore rupees. 6 months time they are giving, and they are saying that if they are going to lose somewhere, if this is going to be a failure, then they will cover 10% of that money, of that deal there. So that is the partial credit guarantee. They are giving a guarantee of 10% of all these purchase, and this purchase is going to be done by PSBs, and whose assets? NBFC's assets, pooled assets. So C is the answer here, and the details you can see here. It's a support system scheme, one time partial guarantee scheme. 6 months or till 1 lakh crore rupees are exhausted. This is the money given to the banks, and you see NBFCs are also financing priority sector. So the issue of mandatory priority sector lending is there with the banks, and it is there with the NBFCs also. So if the NBFCs are financing those priority sector, then this will be taken under the obligation of banks also. So this scheme is going to support the banks and the NBFCs both. So that's the greatest thing about this particular scheme, and the validity will be there for the 6 months. If it is 6 months or the 1 lakh crore rupees limit, so till that time government is going to give this guarantee. All these important features are given here in the PDF. You can go through that. Next, there are 191 major reservoirs in India, and they are divided in 5 regions. They are certainly divided in 5 regions, but there are only 91 major reservoirs in India. So this is a wrong statement. Second, southern region has the maximum number of them. It is the southern region which is having maximum number of them. It is more than 30. So this is also a wrong statement. This is very difficult in the southern region because it's a peninsular part. The bedrock is very tough. So it's very difficult to create these dams or these reservoirs there. But once they are created, then there is no leaching underground, and this reservoir will be very much robust and protected. So there are more reservoirs in the southern part of the country, and more rivers are also flowing there, and these are not supported by glaciers. So we need reservoirs there. So that's why it's a great thing. You can see the condition right now in the monsoon time. The flow is very huge. So some of the reservoirs, they are getting supply of this water, rainwater, and in Gujarat and Maharashtra these are filled with water. That's a good news. But 108 reservoirs in this country, they are still running out of water, and there is no supply from the rainwater there. So that's why it's a huge problem. So D none is the answer here. And next question is regarding Consumer Price Index. It is released by MOSPI, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, and the CSO office, and NSSO, the National Sample Survey Organization, that collects data from markets, 310 selected towns all over the country. But the village data, that is collected by Department of Post, not by NSSO. So that's why it's a wrong statement. CPI is used. CPI has 5 categories like industrial workers, and rural areas and the urban workers and all. So different categories are there, and the combined data is taken for inflation announcement by RBI. So RBI uses CPI data for inflation, but CPI data includes imported items also. CPI includes all the consumer items, whether they are domestic or the imported ones. Okay, so this is a wrong statement. Domestic plus imported items are also taken under this list, and the changes in the list are difficult. Once they are in the list, then they will go for a long period of time. Another important term is GDP deflator, where only domestic items are taken and consistent revisions are there in the GDP deflator list. So similar kind of things are there in the CPI list and the GDP list, but in the GDP deflator list there are only domestic goods. So both the statements are wrong here, and here this village data, selected village data, is taken by Department of Post because their reach is very high there. So D, none is the answer. Both the statements are wrong. Next, Samarth scheme. Samarth scheme is related to Samarth means capacity. It is related to textile sector, and it is not the scheme for minorities or farmer empowerment or the skilling of the school students. It is regarding capacity building program in the textile sector. So D is the answer. D would be the key here. You can see it is the announcement by textile minister that there is going to be a MOU between states and the ministry under this Samarth scheme. It was launched in April 18, and it was signed by CCEA in December 17. So this is a demand driven and placement oriented NSQF compliant skilling program, and 10 lakh people will be skilled here, 9 lakh from organized sector, 1 lakh from traditional sector. So it is the detail of Samarth scheme. Next, a similar kind of scheme, integrated skill development scheme. It is by which ministry? HRD, Textile or Entrepreneurship Ministry. It is not by Niti Aayog. It is actually again by Ministry of Textile, because the annual report, when we discussed of this Ministry of Textile, then we discussed both these schemes, Samarth scheme and the ISDS scheme, Integrated Skill Development Scheme. It was the 11th 5-year plan, when in the last 2 years it was announced in 2010, and then it was extended in the 12th 5-year plan also, and it is going on and largely aligned with the common norms of the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship also, because skilling is the main theme here, but it is the scheme by Ministry of Textile, Integrated Skill Development Scheme. Okay, next, Golden Butterfly, Maijan Golden Tips and Manohari Gold. These are important brands related to what? Silk sarees, GI tag clothes from Andhra Pradesh or Assam tea or jute varieties. All are important ones and all are having their respective brands. But Assam tea is the most unique one, and recently it was an announcement that the Golden Butterfly has fetched the maximum amount per kg, that is 75,000 rupees per kg, and it was bought by the tea traders there in Assam. So it is the area of Upper Assam, and there this specialty tea is sold there, and they all are getting very high price there. But Golden Butterfly was sold for 75,000 rupees per kg, Maijan Gold for 70,000 rupees per kg, and Manohari Gold for 50,000 rupees per kg. So these were the great achievements, and the record breaking scenario was there. GTAC is the Guwahati Trade Tea Auction Center. Guwahati Tea Auction Center, and there are traders, and they were buying this Golden Butterfly and other important tea brands there. And the actual company which was selling this tea, its name is I will tell you the name. This is not given here actually. The company's name is something J Thompson or something like that, but that's not important. Important it is the name of these varieties. Okay, and this is the Assam's Decom Tea Estate brand. Next, holding company and subsidiary company. We all know that holding companies are very much important, and it's comparatively new phenomena. Holding companies are huge in the corporate grouping. Holding companies has many subsidiary companies under it. So subsidiary companies are under holding company. So it is not a type of subsidiary company. This is wrong. There are holding companies, and they will have ownership of the shares of these subsidiary companies. There are various types of businesses, there are various types of operations which these subsidiary companies will be dealing with. Holding company will not have any responsibility. It will only own these shares and it will not be involved in day-to-day operation or the production of the company. So this is also wrong. Subsidiary companies will be taking care of all these operations and the day-to-day business, and holding company will have the holdover stocks of the subsidiary companies. So third is also wrong. All the statements are wrong here. And you see, it is a phenomena where a holding company will not have any legal troubles. If any of the company fails and any person attached with these companies, they will not lose their assets if these companies are liquidated or any legal trouble is there. So their assets, these persons assets will be safe because the holding or the ownership is there with the company, holding company. So these are great. And limited liability companies, these are holding companies are. So all the statements are wrong. D none is the answer here. Reliance is soon going to be a holding firm. Analysts say about this RIL. And recently the Aramco deal was signed with the RIL's subsidiary companies, and you see it's a smart move because holding company does not lose anything. They don't even lose the brand name, the trademark, anything, because various companies will be divided and these all will be subsidiary companies under this holding company. So if one fails, then the other is unaffected. So this way holding company will exist and it will not be having any legal troubles later. All these details are given here in this PDF. Please go through that. These key takeaways are important here, and benefit of holding companies are also given here. Pros and cons, everything is given. Next, cars and bikes. Their sales are inviting GST rate of what? Actually, the issue is that government is taking these vehicles like passenger vehicles, cars and bikes and all as luxury items. So they are putting them under the highest category of 28%, and that's the trouble. Suppose a car is sold for 10 lakh rupees, then 2,80,000 rupees is the tax amount, GST amount. So what kind of relief you can see in GST? It's a very much stressful thing for the consumers, because it is all extended towards consumers. So that's why the sales are very down, and consumers are finding it very difficult in this tough phase of the economy, that they are not buying these vehicles. So the sales are all time low, and you can see D is the answer here. 28% GST rate is invited here, and Siam is demanding that at least put it in the 18% slab, because 28% is too high for the vehicles, because these are costing in lakhs and 28% is too much. And here you can see these are different slabs, and luxury cars and other cars are in the 28% category. So that's the problem. Some luxury cars are inviting cesses also. So that's the trouble. Next, negative rate policy. Negative rate policy normally considered only for the economies which are mainly developed economies, and the inflation rate is very low. Normally in developing countries, inflation rates are very high. So this is a wrong statement. After the 2008 crisis, we have seen in many countries there is a phase which is very difficult. Economies are in a lull phase, they are not moving, and a lot of kicks are needed to run the business cycle there. So they are downgrading their interest rates, and some countries like Japan, Switzerland, these are thinking about negative interest rate policies, because the people are not going to markets, they are not buying things, and they are not interested in these things, because they do not see any interest, because the interest rates are blocking their mind. If the interest rates are going to be nearly zero, then obviously these people will go to the market and they will buy things, and this economy and the demand will be pushed, and production will go up, and the jobs will be there. So that's why it's a kind of a forced movement, negative rate policy. But certainly it erodes the margin, erodes the earning of these lending institutions, financial institutions, for sure, because it is their earning. Interest rate is their earning, and with the negative rate policy, it is not possible. So third is correct. Second is wrong. Why? Because when there are interest rates on a lower side, or maybe the negative interest rates are there, then the currency is devalued. Currency will be devalued, and in this scenario, exporters are supported. because they will export something, they will get the payment in dollars per se, and now more currency, more domestic currency will be there in single dollar, so they will earn more because the payments are done normally in the dollar terms, so they will earn more. So in this scenario, it is actually supported see, for exporters, they will get benefit here. Okay, and anyway, if they are exporting something, and if that country, the importing country, is making a payment in their domestic currency, exporter's currency, then it is very easy for that importer to buy that currency. So it is the case of a devaluation of the currency because of the negative interest rate, because less interest rate means more money will be flowing in the market, and more money means it is the inflation will rise. Inflation will rise means the depreciation will be there for the money. So that is the case. So only 3 is the answer. A is the answer here, and all these statements are perfectly clear. This is all given in the PDF, whatever I have explained to you. So please go through that, and this is all for today's lesson. We will meet again tomorrow. Thanks a lot. Keep watching and enjoy your day. Thanks a lot.